Hey guys, it's Alyssa.
And it's Danny, and we're Christian Connections.
So today we kind of just want to share more of a personal story.
Yeah.
Maybe to help inspire you with something that you're going through. And seeing how it might not look right now, but he'll use that in a way that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
So, we're going to read you a little something that I wrote a few months ago. I guess we should probably give some background.
Yeah, probably. Just like how we had went to school together our sophomore year of high school. Well, before then, but after our sophomore year, I had moved to Utah. And so we have been like best friends, but halfway across the country kind of thing. And so there's been, of course, struggles and stuff with that, but this is just something Alyssa kind of wrote about that. So, the best part of Danny moving away and living halfway across the country and keeping a long-distance relationship rather than living side by side is that God has created the atmosphere of opportunity to show us where we stand. Living side by side, we know each other's struggles and joys, but far away we have to use open communication and understanding. We no longer know the other's daily moods and goals, and achievements and setbacks. We have to use understanding, which I guess is one way to understand how God relates to us. He wants to maintain that relationship, but for us it can seem so far away. But more importantly, God's use through the move has showed up in our service to the other.
We just split it up so that it wouldn't be so long.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of times we're in opposite seasons. One is doing just fine while the other is struggling, which seems like a bad thing because of the loss of understanding through relation, but really that is used to allow us to grow in our faith of helping, supporting the other by speaking words of truth. All we can do is bring the other one's focus to God's love and remind him of his truths. This makes it so that we are learning the act of discipleship. We can't be a God to the other through a great understanding. Rather, we understand him as he is and as we are. We recognize that he is God and we are his children, his disciples, his light in the world. Oftentimes when I'm struggling, Danny will say, A, which I just use as like this encouraging words, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then that A really helps me draw my focus back to him, so eventually he helps me to grow out of that struggle. And Danny then has an obstacle that comes up, so I tell her, A. And that's just a cycle of ups and downs and sharing his truth back and forth. We can't comfort the other person, we can only draw the other to him so he can comfort them. If we were living side by side, I'd try to point her back to him, but I'd also try to do something more to help.
Mm-hmm. He's really taught me to take my hands off and say, I'm not God, she's not God. No, only he's God. Only he can provide true comfort, peace, and love. We are his disciples, with little flames of his spirit in us, to have the ability to use his power to inspire, to draw others to him. So.
Okay, so I guess we are just going to go into kind of a little bit more explanation, because that's like a lot there, but
yeah.
We had, like, I'd say we kept communication pretty well during that whole time. I mean, the first year we like text every day, blah, 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 call like once or twice, like a month maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around there. And then it started getting like longer, and I was like, she's always busy, I'm always busy, like our schedules are just opposite.
It was when I was free, she would be busy, or when she was busy, I would be free, and it was never the same time,
And so we couldn't really talk to each other,
mm-hmm.
and I was just like, okay, how is this going to work? It is not working right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, okay, like it's kind of like a letting go kind of thing, but at the same time, like you don't want to let go of that friendship,
mm-hmm.
but you just gotta like let go, as in like to trust him that he has it under control.
Yeah.
And through that, I guess like with this of what we just shared is kind of like realizing that we aren't next to each other. We're not always going to be there for each other. Like earlier it was like, oh, this is so hard, like, and we could just talk to each other anytime that we wanted.
Yeah.
But this made us more like
independent,
but yet dependent on him,
yeah.
rather than each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of let us like open our eyes to see how he used that circumstance where like, oh my gosh, she's moving. What if we never talk to each other ever again?
Yeah.
And like how he used that to that like worry and fear and stuff, but yet like putting faith in him enabled us to learn this about like where we stand versus where he stands.
Yeah, and like where we find our comfort and stuff. Like most of the time when like either one of us was going in the rough time, those words of encouragement were pray or read your Bible or like listen to him and it'll be okay. And that helped more than her like telling me do this, do that, do that. Like, it seems like that wouldn't help at all, but really in the end it helped more than her telling me what I should do or what I could do to work things out and stuff, So I mean, like, it sounds kind of silly or something, but it really works and it helped a lot. Both of us kind of grow in our faith and realize that's where we need to turn to when things are going bad. I mean, not saying that you can't turn to that other person and talk to them as well, but the first person you should always go to,
Yeah, we fail, and like, I don't know, you're not living side by side. You don't see everything. You don't know the relationship that they have with others. And so it's like, what should I do? What should I do? You're looking for like encouragement and advice, but they're way over there and they don't really know the circumstance. They only know your side, your perspective of it. So really it's just like, just trust him. He knows everything. Like, call to him, and it's just like through that we're able to realize that friendship is like a kind of like someone that you can always do stuff with, but at the same time it's more of like a kind of just like a reminder, someone that kind of just like nudges you along in the right direction.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's our message of the day.
Yeah.
Hope you guys got something out of that and maybe can relate it to your lives.